Nobody knows what happened on the night the heroes fell. All we know is that they disappeared, and evil triumphed, and the bad guys have been calling the shots ever since. What happened to Wolverine is the biggest mystery of them all. Some say they hurt him like no one ever before. Others say he just grew tired of all the fighting and retired to a simpler life. Either way, he hasn't raised his voice or popped his claws in close to 50 years. His old friends would barely recognize him now.
I don't have much to give to you, but what I got is awfully true. Oh yeah, sirree. Yeah, sirree. Cowboy boots and all, I was made to stand tall. I'm on a bench, not playing pretend. There's more to me than my cowboy hat.
Sacramento, California. A now-aged Logan is having trouble on his farm. His son says that the tractor is broken down, but money is tight, so there's no way of fixing it. His pigs are suspected of contamination, so they can't be sold, and Logan refuses to sell his children's toys. But rent is due in 2 days, and they have little else to pay the landlords. When Logan's daughter asks if her father used to be a superhero, he glumly states there are no such thing as superheroes. Logan is frustrated. How could he let things get this bad? The landlords can't look weak in front of the other rulers of America. His wife, Maureen, says that maybe the landowners will be reasonable, but these are Bruce Banner's grandchildren. They don't do reasonable. 2 days later, the landlords arrive. The Hawks gang is here. Without being able to pay the family, they ask if he's ready to receive his beating. As Logan ponders using his claws to gut these attackers, he thinks better of it and accepts their abuse. They beat him down and say he must pay double next month, or everybody dies. Later, an old friend pays a visit. Hawkeye says that his wounds don't look so bad, but Logan says that doesn't mean much coming from a blind man. Clint points out that his old friend's healing factor is not working like it used to. He goes on to say that he thinks Logan is in trouble and offers him a job. Though the former Wolverine is suspicious, Hawkeye says this is just a delivery and deflects questions as to whether or not it is legal. With no other choice, Logan sets out the next morning with Clint. After lovingly saying goodbye to his children, he sets out with Hawkeye in the Spider-Mobile. The car is fast enough to make the journey they have ahead of them. The two have to cross the 4 kingdoms of America, traveling from Sacramento all the way to New Babylon within the President's Quarter. With 3,000 miles to go, the long voyage begins. They first arrive in San Francisco. Hawkeye still refuses to tell Logan about their cargo, but this isn't their most immediate concern. According to the map, they should be in the city, but there's nothing around for miles. Hawkeye realizes that the Moloids are here. They sunk the entire city underground. Everyone who ever lived here is now dead. Hawkeye is relieved that he has Wolverine around, but Logan insists that man is dead. But Clint doesn't buy this. He can smell the animals still within Logan. Their conversation is interrupted with the arrival of a gang of Ghost Riders. They viciously attack the 2 old men, but Logan refuses to fight back. Luckily, Hawkeye is still able to hear the gang members and slaughters them all with his trusty bow. Logan is upset at his old friend murdering people, but Clint is even angrier at his companion for refusing to fight at all. Hawkeye didn't think Logan was being serious about Wolverine being dead, and nervously asks just what did the villains do to this man. Logan only says that they broke him, and it's the sole reason he's still alive. Their next destination is Hammer Falls in Nevada. This is the place where the Absorbing Man and Magneto finally took down Thor. The city has become the greatest tourist attraction in the country, as many people come here to pray for the return of the superheroes, which both men know will never happen. Kingpin rules this area of America, and the president looks the other way here so long as there's money to be made. They go to a garage where they are greeted by a friendly Ultron 8. The mechanic shop is owned by a woman named Tanya, Hawkeye's third ex-wife and Peter Parker's youngest daughter. Tanya is mad at her husband. Her daughter Ashley, inspired by Clint's stories, formed a super team of her own to take on the Kingpin. They wanted to take the big man down because they didn't like the way he ran this place. All 3 members of the team were captured, so Clint offers to pay Logan double to rescue her. The old man agrees, but makes it clear that under no circumstances will he ever use his claws again. As they set out, Ultron gives Logan an X-Men keychain. This causes him to remember a train from long ago, before Clint says it is time to go. On the way, they encounter another city taken by the Moloids, but there's nothing that can be done for them. They arrive at a stadium in Salt Lake City, where the Kingpin rules. This man killed Magneto when he got too old to hold on to this territory, and now he is in charge. The Kingpin sets dinosaurs from the Savage Land loose on Ashley's men, and they are brutally devoured by these beasts. Scaling the side of a building using the Spider-Mobile, the 2 men attack the Kingpin's home, rescuing Ashley from herself. Clint makes quick work of these guards, and frees his daughter just as the Kingpin arrives. Ashley says the landlord just made his first big mistake. He got old too. With the Kingpin decapitated, the Spider-Woman turns on her father. She is in charge of this quarter now, and decides to show her men what her new boss is made of as she prepares to murder her father. Watching this, Logan is frustrated that he's going to have to get involved, and is forced to use the car in order to save Hawkeye. As they flee the city, Ashley orders her people to get the old men. The chase ensues until they feel the ground shaking below them. The earth opens up and everyone falls into a giant hole deep underground. 2 hours pass before Logan wakes up to find all the men that were chasing him are dead and being devoured by the Moloids. The former Wolverine manages to scare them off with his road whip and rescues Hawkeye. Luckily for the 2 men, they have Peter Parker's old car, and it can do anything a spider can. The next leg of the journey is largely uneventful. They encounter more dinosaurs from the Savage Land in Wyoming, and Hawkeye says they were all the rage as exotic pets a few years ago, until they grew too expensive to keep. Now hundreds of these beasts roam America. They then arrive at a place called Electroville, northeast of Denver. Somehow the Baxter building ended up all the way out here and is lying on top of Loki's corpse. Hawkeye does not comment much on this scene, other than saying it was one hell of a fight, and nobody quite knows what happened to Reed and Sue Richards. In South Dakota, they pass by an altered Mount Rushmore, featuring an ominous new addition, while a distinct figure in black watches over them. They then go to a bar in Iowa. Logan is acting more like his old self, but this worries the former Wolverine. Clint comforts his old friend until a bar patron makes fun of them, and Logan nearly kills the onlooker. Outside, Hawkeye once again asks just what happened to his old friend. This time, Logan says he will explain everything. It all goes back to the night the villains got their act together and made a deal with each other. Wolverine and Jubilee received distress calls from all around the world, but nobody was responding when she tried to communicate with them. Recognizing the danger, Logan said they need to leave right now, but an explosion occurred. The blast killed Jubilee, and Strife arrives, saying they are too late. It's time for the big one. A massive fight ensued, and Logan faced off against a legion of supervillains. One after another, Wolverine brutally killed his foes, while desperately seeking his missing friends. The X-Man killed everyone attacking, until only Bullseye remained. The villain begged Logan to stop, asking why he is doing this. He's supposed to be their friend. Too late, Wolverine realizes that he has been had. He wasn't fighting all the supervillains, only one, Mysterio. Gloating over his masterful illusion, He thanks Logan on behalf of the villains, as Wolverine just killed every single member of the X-Men. Mysterio made them look, feel, and even smell completely different. Logan has no idea what happened next. For an unknown period of time, he wept and sobbed and wandered through the woods as the rest of the superhero community felt. All that Wolverine wanted to do was just pay for what he had done. So he found a set of train tracks, laid down in front of them, and killed Wolverine dead. Logan may have survived thanks to his healing factor, but Wolverine has been gone for 50 years. He will never use his claws again. Hawkeye accepts Logan's decision and understands his grief, while the two men resume their journey. They arrive at a bridge, where they encounter a young boy with Ant-Man's old helmet. The boy, named Dwight, says they will have to pay a toll of 80 cents, or else they will face 1,000,000 of his little friends. Clint pays him and wishes Dwight well. As they cross, Logan asks if the boy was serious. Driving over a pile of human remains, Clint says that Dwight is always serious, and this was 80 cents well spent. They next drive through Doom's Head in Illinois, when a familiar figure with a brand new host begins to chase the two men. Venom closes in on them, while they are being observed by an unknown figure who decides to help the two out. The Spider-Mobile is nearly overwhelmed by the dinosaur, until Black Bolt appears in front of them. With a small whisper, the dinosaur and symbiote are knocked down, and the two men are greeted by Emma Frost. She bids them welcome to the Forbidden Quarter. Though the greeting is received rather coldly, she agrees to help them repair their car after its encounter with Venom. This is the last place on Earth that mutants can live without persecution. Though Emma states that the mutant race is all but doomed, there's only 20 of them left in the world, and not a single one has been born in nearly 40 years. Clint accuses Emma of selling herself out by marrying Dr. Doom, but Frost is unapologetic about doing what she had to do in order for her and her people to survive. After the car is fixed, the two men are escorted to the exit. As they leave, they are quietly watched over by this area's lord. In Osborne County, Ohio, Logan asks about the package they are delivering, but Clint says his old friend should mind his own business. Their next destination is Pym Falls, an entrance to the long-awaited goal of New Babylon. When Logan asks why this place is named after Hank Pym, Hawkeye feels it is pretty self-explanatory. Finally, the men arrive in New Babylon, the largest city in the President's Court. They deliver the package to a seedy gang, where it is finally revealed just what the two men have been delivering this whole time. The package contains 99 vials of the Super Soldier Serum to empower a rebel alliance against the President. The men are putting together a new Avengers team to take the country back from the villains. But Logan notices the men are readying their arms. Too late, both men are shot by what turns out to be undercover S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. This whole deal was a sting. Hawkeye is furious and refuses to beg for his life, so he is promptly shot in the head. 50 years ago, the Red Skull stood over a dying and defeated Captain America. The villain gloated, soaking in his overwhelming victory. The bad guys should have gotten organized like this years ago. Look at all the wonderful things they did. America will be carved out among its chief lieutenants. The Abomination will have California. Doom gets the Bible Belt. And for some reason, Magneto wants Las Vegas. Guess who gets the White House? And as for the rest of the world, well, who would want it now anyway? Don't get upset, Cap. It will all be over soon. Now, in New Babylon, the Skull stands in his trophy room, filled with many relics from the fallen heroes of Earth. His men arrive with Logan, Hawkeye's corpse, and the serum. As they talk over the situation, one of the men notices the bullet wounds are healing in Logan, who promptly kicks the onlooker in his balls. The former hero makes short work of the Skull's goons, while the former villain remarks on his surprise at Logan wanting to fight. The Skull notices just how out of shape his opponent is and mocks him for not using his claws. Wanting a fair fight, the President locks his security out of the trophy room while he prepares to butcher Logan with the ebony blade. But with quick thinking, the hero grabs Captain America's shield, blocking the attack and thrashing the Red Skull around. He pins the President on the ground, but the Skull mocks him and says he doesn't have the guts to kill him. But the Red Skull is wrong. As security swarms the facility, Logan notices that most of Iron Man's suit is also in this room. He manages to blast his way out of the building, taking with him a briefcase full of cash. The former X-Man uses Tony's old suit to rapidly fly home, though the armor runs out of power before he completes the journey. A day and a half later, Logan finally arrives home to find a neighbor waiting for him. Logan is relieved to see his old friend, but it suddenly becomes clear something is wrong. The Hulk gang got bored, so they came 2 weeks early. Logan looks on at what's left of his family in silence. His neighbor says they will help him, but that they can't seek vengeance. But Logan is gone. His name is Wolverine. At their watering hole, 2 members of the Hulk gang are having trouble washing off the blood of Logan's family. One of them is pulled underwater and re-emerges in pieces. The other man is attacked by Wolverine and dies in a fountain of blood. In Sonny Stark's bar, 2 more of the Hulk's gang are playing with the toys they have taken from Logan's children, while another casually feasts on a human arm. The lights go out, and the fate of these monsters are sealed. More of Hulk's gang finish enjoying the pleasures of a local whorehouse when they see a fiery wreck outside. The 3 are speechless when they see Wolverine standing in front of them. Finally, only Banner's lair remains. The fantastic car the gang uses crashes into the trailer park surrounding the lair, where one of the Hulks is tied up with a bomb attached to his face. The park explodes, and Logan begins an assault on the Hulk clan. They don't last long, and pretty soon, only Banner is left to oppose him. Banner, retaining his human form, is now an elderly man, but he has changed over the many years. Banner is thrilled at the opportunity to smash something fun. A lot of people said that the Hulk went mad after the radiation sickness did something to his brain. But who else was he supposed to breed with other than his cousin? She-Hulk was the only one who could keep up with him. Now possessing the Hulk's strength, he savagely beats Wolverine, taunting him with the fact that he deliberately antagonized Logan to bring Wolverine back just because he was bored. This infuriates the former X-Men, who stabs Banner through the chest. Banner calls him an idiot, and that he shouldn't have made him angry. People piss themselves when he gets angry. In this monstrous new form, Banner devours Wolverine, and the battle is over. 12 hours later, Billy Bob, the only other surviving member of Hulk's family other than the baby Bruce Jr., arrives, and asks what the hell just happened. Banner explains what happened to Logan, until he begins to keel over. The Hulk explains that he's had a terrible stomach cramp for the last couple of hours. Billy Bob realizes the obvious problem with eating Wolverine, who, restored by his healing factor, bursts through the now dead Hulk. Logan spares Billy Bob, but refuses to leave without the baby. If Banner can take his children, then Logan can take his. 1 month later, Logan stands over the graves of his family. His neighbors console the man who has lost everything, but they can't believe what he's planning to do. Logan says he's got nothing better planned, and a friend taught him that nothing is impossible, not even restoring law to this godforsaken land. Setting out with Bruce Jr., Wolverine vows to make this world a better place. He died 50 years ago, but it's time that he get better. Hello and welcome to Comic Island. My name is Arden, and this is the complete story of Old Man Logan. So this is something we haven't really done before. Sure, we've made complete stories before, but that usually just features us bundling existing videos together into one convenient place. This is completely original content on stuff that came out some time ago. We have plans to do more of these here and there, and I chose to start things off with Old Man Logan because Marvel has begun selling single issues of this and other popular stories from their archives for only $1 under something they're calling the True Believer publications. I think this is a great idea to get new readers involved and sell comics at a super reasonable price. So you should all look for these True Believer titles at your local comic book store. At only $1, you have very little to lose, and you might discover a cool story or two. So now let's talk about how I feel concerning the Old Man Logan story itself. And that's a little complicated. The story is intimately tied to how I feel about Mark Millar, a polarizing writer if there ever was one. On the one hand, Millar does some really cool stuff, but on the other, he's also completely insane. You can see it in Old Man Logan itself. This is a really cool comic with all kinds of amazing moments, panels, and ideas. I love how little we're told about exactly what happened to this world, and instead we're allowed to imagine exactly what happened to, say, Spider-Man, or how the Baxter Building wound up halfway across the country and on top of Loki, or even the final fate of the rest of the world. And we see so many cool things. Like, this comic is totally worth reading almost entirely for this reason. Venom controlling a T-Rex is still one of the greatest things ever. It's just so f***ing awesome. But then there's the Hulk, and that's just uncomfortable, violent, and very gross. This is not a good comic for fans of the Hulk because Banner's character is not treated great here. As well, a lot of things happen that seem really unlikely, like Magneto teaming up with the Red Skull. I also really don't like this dynamic of the supervillains becoming landlords for, like, huge chunks of America. That just makes no sense to me, and it was a really weird choice. So I think this dichotomy of really cool stuff and really crazy stuff reflects the dynamics of Mark Millar perfectly. For every awesome moment in Old Man Logan or something like Kick-Ass, there's also all these really uncomfortable little details and elements he adds to his stories. It seems like he relies heavily on shock value, which is how he winds up writing about stuff like a man forcibly inseminating a girl with her brother's semen and then rigging her womb to explode if she gets an abortion, which is exactly what he did in Nemesis. So, yeah, like I said, he's a little bit crazy. But I still don't know what to make of this guy because he came up with Venom possessing a T-Rex. On the whole, I find Old Man Logan's weird flaws don't outweigh how fun I find this comic. There's no profound message here, it's just a wild ride, a western kind of road trip in an alternate future of Marvel. It helps that artist Steve McNiven does some really epic work with this content, beautifully rendering each panel and leaving a very distinctive, gritty, and humanistic quality throughout the entire run of these comics. Kudos to him on a job really well done. I also love all the details and Easter eggs they put on this comic, like all the various superhero trophies in the Red Skull's collection. So I do recommend Old Man Logan. It's a bit of a crazy story, but one that on the whole I really like, and you should check it out along with any other True Believer comics you can get a hold of. Plus, it has been announced that Old Man Logan will debut in a new volume as part of the upcoming Secret Wars storyline, so maybe this will all work out as if I carefully planned this ahead of time, seeding the story for future coverage. Ha ha ha, ah ha ha, ah ha ha. Yeah, right, like I plan things. Anyway, you should check out Old Man Logan, along with the other complete story videos. They're all handily listed together on our website, and we'll keep posting new stuff on our Facebook and Twitter pages. And finally, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep reading comics.
I don't have much to give to you, but what I got is awfully true, oh yeah, sirree, yeah, sirree. Cowboy boots and all, I was made to stand tall. I'm on a bench, not playing pretend. There's more to me than my cowboy hat and my willie and willie. You say you're not that guy, but time after time I hope it's not that you won't think less of me, cause pity that would be. So the time has come, I can't play dumb, don't you see? I don't have much to give to you, but what I got is awfully true, oh yeah, sirree, yeah, sirree. On cowboy boots and all, I was made to stand tall. I'm on a bench, not playing pretend. There's more to me than my cowboy hat in my way. I lay